Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and I am here to finish up my deck collection series with you. And this is part 3. Where we left off in part 2, both part 1 and 2 are up above in the cards. If you haven't seen them yet, go check those out. I had finished what is in my drawer and we were at a grand total so far of 30 decks, both tarot and oracle. We'll do the grand totaling of the different sections and stuff at the end of this video. But I have more decks in a couple different places, so I had to grab those, and let's get started with part 3. This is my Shadowscapes Tarot, which, so maybe I should add this one into my drawer, because I had this one before and I gave it to a friend and then I rebought it. And I do love it. I just wonder if maybe my work with it is done. But then again, I see this card and oh, maybe not. I think I'm going to put this one in my drawer. So I had to pause for a moment and make my kids some food. So if I repeat myself, my bad. I think maybe I'm going to put this in my drawer for decks that I want to try getting to know more. Because this one is gorgeous. I'm not going to get rid of it again because, or it would take a crowbar to get it out of my hands again, because I've already bought, because I already bought it and then got rid of it and then bought it again. And to be fair, the version I bought was a smaller version with just a white guidebook, and I wanted to get the version with the full-size guidebook, which is what I now have. This bums me out a bit because of the cardstock, because my hand slips sometimes and I damaged cards. So it's still usable, but it bums me out because I love riffle shuffling. And yet that's still on the top. That's fucking funny. So I'm not going to get rid of it. I might end up using the art for something else one day, or the cards as art for something else one day. I truly don't know. But I think I am, because I also too, I thought this deck was how I was going to connect to a deity I was working with. And as I mentioned in, I believe, part 1, I'm beginning to think maybe deity work, goddess work isn't for me, at least right now. And again, if you want to hear more about that, let me know in the comments down below. So I had started to designate this deck for that use, and then that use kind of petered out in my life. So I guess I was like putting it aside, and because I was afraid to hurt it more, because I have not had this deck that long and I have not used it that much. It damages really easily, and that bums me out. But because of this video, I have determined what I am going to do is I am going to put it in my drawer to try and work with it. Next up, we have what used to be the Spiritsong Tarot, which I did quite the number on. This deck I'm severely attached to, because this deck is the deck, and as you can see, I hand trimmed it. It's a horribly uneven job. I use this deck as the deck. This deck was the reason I didn't fully give up on tarot, and was kind of the reason I came back to it, because I could not bear to part with this deck because of the imagery on it. And I still remember vividly the day I got it, looking through it on the subway on the way home. I couldn't bear to get rid of it. And then I was trying to learn the tarot using this deck, and that wasn't working. So then I got my Revelations Tarot. So I was trying to learn tarot on this, and it wasn't working. And then I got my Revelations Tarot, and then that worked. And then I still wasn't finding, I was relating the cards. I wasn't relating. I was having trouble with the keywords and such. And I wonder now if that was because I just didn't know as much about tarot. But so I didn't want to get rid of it. So in, I believe, the end of 2020 or the very beginning of 2021, I trimmed it down to an oracle. And I didn't really know how to use it as an oracle because I'm not super familiar with animal correspondences energy. So I think I'm going to repurchase the Spiritsong Tarot. Okay, so if this part is choppy, I'm really sorry, but like, it's a busy moment in my house. My spouse came home and such. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to rebuy the Spiritsong Tarot, Ace of Acorns, and spend some time with it as it's meant to be, because I think I can do it now, and I think I'll like it now. I think I was getting too confused at first, and then in which case, once I've done that, I just have gorgeous artwork that, like, this has a different system too, like it renames things. So I think I'm going to rebuy it, and then I can hold on to these cards to go in the bag. Go on, you fucker. In you go. I can hold on to these cards to put in, like, journaling. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Next up, we have my Earth Magic Oracle cards. This is my retired deck. This was my first ever deck. And I edged it in a green marker, which still to this day leaks. It leaks. So that's honestly one of the reasons why I stopped using it. So this copy is retired. And I don't think I need to have a copy of this that's not retired. If at any point I feel like I need this deck again, I'm just going to buy a new copy. I am very attached to this deck. It was my first deck ever. So I definitely have an attachment to it. Maybe, I feel like maybe my retired decks will become things I use in creative ways. Like, for instance, I have a setup in my living room space where, I'm going to keep this card out. I have a setup in my space where I use one-off cards that I get in, like, subscription box and such, and I put them on my walls as, like, pieces of art. So I think I'm gonna keep, this is such a good one. I think I'm gonna keep that for that. Also, though, I feel like this is a really good deck for, like, helping find words of the year. But I don't really feel the need to use this deck a ton. This deck did its job. It opened me to the world of tarot. I feel very content to let it be retired and then maybe use certain cards to bring as, like, pieces of art on the wall or in different kinds of art projects to bring that energy to the space. So I'm very content with this card. So this card, see, look, just green. So this card lives in here because although maybe I think I know where to put ones that I know I'm keeping, but I want to use for like art project. So I just put that there. So that's that one. Next up, this puppy got ousted because I got the Heavenly Bodies astrology deck. And this is the Numinous Astro deck. And it's an astrology deck. It's pretty. It was a gift from a friend in 2020. And I used it a couple of times. It's got cards for like placements, like planets and such. It's got cards for the signs with errors. Aries is not supposed to be the radical. Aries is supposed to be like the fire starter or something. And it's got the houses, and it's got examples of aspects. I don't think this deck did particularly well, and it hasn't done particularly well for me. I am not at all attached to it. And my Heavenly Bodies astrology deck absolutely replaced this. I'm not sure what to do with it because of the fact, like, I feel bad giving it, like, donating it or giving it to someone else knowing it has errors in it. I don't know. I mean, is this deck interesting? Let me know in the comments down below. But even too, like, look, there's thumb holes. I don't think this deck did very well. I truly don't. Because, like, there's errors in the book. It was hard to get. Like, my friend had to find it on a specific thing. I'm going to Google it and see if it comes up. I don't know. The thumb holes in the box are on the bottom. So now they're gone, right? Like, it's not a hard box to open, but it's like, what's the point of the thumb grips being on the bottom? And the book and the deck don't match. And then there's, like I said, Aries in the deck is called the Radical. But here in the book, it's called the Fire Starter. And I checked with them, and it is supposed to be the Fire Starter. And I just feel like it didn't do well. I could be totally wrong, but it's definitely not one I've heard of a lot. I'm not keeping it. I don't know if I should recycle it or if I should give it to someone else. I don't really feel right selling it. I don't know. Or if I should just, again, use it for art. I don't know, but it's not staying. That is 100% for sure. I'm just holding on to it while I figure out what to do with it. If you have suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. If by chance you've been really looking for this deck, also let me know of that, because maybe I'll be able to send it to you. Let me know. Okay, so if you hear noise, my dog is being a pain in my ass. She's kicking around her food dish instead of eating it because she doesn't like the food that's in it anymore. This is my Revelations Tarot, which I do love, and I have no intention of getting rid of it. I use this to kind of learn more traditional tarot, because this felt at the time very traditional to me without feeling too Rider-Waite-Smith. And I feel like I've just outgrown it. It's not my go-to reader. It's not my go-to style. I've come to the point in tarot that I know what my style is now. I know how I like to read. I know what kind of art appeals to me and such. And this one's just not really, it just doesn't really do it for me anymore. And I haven't used it in over a year. And I haven't missed using it at all. I in fact thought, like, oh, I should take it out and use it again. I think because I felt bad, and I tried, and then I was like, no, I just don't want to. So I think this was one of those, it came in for a season, and the season of my life it came in for was to help teach me tarot. So I am not getting rid of it. Guys, I have a problem. This is why surrender is my word of the year. I don't want to get rid of it because it's really important to me. What I want to do is I want to use this somewhere on my desk in a kind of collage-y way as like a decoration. Like I want to like affix it to the top of my desk, to redo the top of my desk and make it more awesome and tarot-y. Or to one of the walls of my shelf, or to just make a big tarot collage board. So I know how I want to use this, and that way I've got it as a piece of art, right? So I know how I want to use this. Maybe I'll make like a tray with it. I'll make something, because 78's a lot of cards, and I'm concerned of just like, I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this desk, but like, what if I put it on my desk and then I decide to get rid of my desk? I don't think I will though. I think that's just fear. Anyway, this is not going anywhere, but it is going to be used in some sort of a commemorative art project so I can keep it. So I'm going to move this from this purgatory spot to the correct space where I know it should go now. Next up, I have the Happy Tarot, which I don't use anymore. I bought this deck. I bought 2 copies of this deck at the same time. Specifically, I did want it. It is fucking adorable. Maybe I will. Anyway, I bought this along with the second copy for my son, to give him a more child-friendly imaged tarot deck. And I got myself a copy because A, I wanted it because it's fucking adorable, and B, to be like, hey, we can work on tarot together. We have the same deck, so we can use it together, and I can help you learn tarot. Because he is very interested. So I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of this one. I was thinking I was going to get rid of this one. And I have used it for inner child work, and it has worked great for inner child work. Whoops. See, I just got slippy hands. But I don't think I'm going to get rid of this one until at least until I know if my son is going to end up bonding with his. If like, which I don't know if that will happen, because he found and picked for himself the Gummy Bear Tarot, which he loves. And he uses it more than this one. He remembers it more than this one. So this one's staying, and I was keeping it in here in my purgatory spot until I saw how it went with my son Cameron with his deck. But I think I'm going to put it in my drawer and give it another shot using it, because I think I maybe sometimes undervalue how good it is to have a like happy pick-me-up deck for times when shit just sucks. So that's what I'm doing with that. This isn't really an oracle or a tarot, but it's a deck, so here it is. And this is the Spells deck. A friend gave this to me from Amazon, or a friend of a friend had this, and she thought of me with this. And as you can see, the backs are different, a few different art styles. I guess maybe the types correspond. But the fronts, they're things to teach you different things. Water, Altar, Oshun, Bat, Cup. It's really nice cardstock for something like they just got it off Amazon. And it's very much about like teaching, right? The sun has many incarnations in occultism, such as Ra, Apollo, Hyperion, and Surya. The rays of solar deities bring us vitality, health, attraction, radiance, and renewal. Wake at dawn to greet the sun and stand near a window or outside, anointing yourself with frankincense, orange, or copal oil. Recite, O sun, you bring warmth to our soul, energy, and bones. Arise in me and bestow your golden rays of strength. Visualize the sun inhabiting your cells, entering the crown of your head, and reaching all the way to your feet. Repeat this chant 3 times, stretching out your arms as you soak up the sun's nourishment. Write down any illuminating thoughts in your Book of Shadows. So this is very much a teaching deck. And I, generally speaking, don't tend to like being taught things. I like to just kind of learn them on my own. So I don't know if something like this is for me. I don't know. This one's a big I don't know. I think I'm going to put it in my drawer so that way I will maybe give it a chance in using it in some way. Like maybe I can use this if I'm trying to decipher like signs and stuff. I put this in backwards. I don't know, but that's it. And that's it for what this is. It's a 78 charms, remedies, and rituals for the modern mystic. So it's really interesting. What does it say on the back? Enhance your life with magic. This enchanting deck features 78 rituals, spells, and recipes for love, empowerment, healing, and so much more. Brimming with alluring illustrations and powerful practices rooted in ancient traditions, this illuminating deck makes it easy to infuse each day with the wonders of magic. So, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I promise we're almost to the point where we're getting to more interesting decks. But first, we have to finish my saga of, I don't know, I guess we'll see. And it continues with the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards originally by Doreen Virtue, which I do still have ones attributed to her because it's an old enough copy. And right here on the bottom is the reason why, there's the backs. This is why I got this deck. Back when I'll put this aside for a second and just flip through while I talk. Back when I was like, I want to get into goddess work, I was binging Samantha Menzo's. The channel's linked up above. I was binging her channel. And she has and loves this deck and works with it. And through working with this deck, she connected with Coventina. And those were the videos where I was like, I want a connection like that in my life. I want a goddess connection like that in my life. And as I've said in each part of this series, I don't think, at least right now, I feel like maybe goddess work isn't for me. I specifically asked for this one when I was searching for that goddess deck from my spouse. But then they couldn't get this one and they picked me the Goddess Oracle, which I love. And I couldn't get this one out of my head. And it's because of this card, because I have an attachment to this card. And I couldn't get it out of my head because I had an attachment to this card, which is deeply personal, and I don't want to talk about it. Because I don't want to have to deal with trigger warnings and stuff. So I don't know what to do with this deck. I love the pretty colors. I like the cheesy images. But I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to let it go. I'm not sure I'm quite ready. So this one is in purgatory. So yeah, there's that. Similarly, the Ascended Masters by Doreen Virtue. Now, this one was not originally mine. This was my spouse's. And my spouse, this one has a nice like matte gold gilding though, although it did fade. My spouse decided they were ready to get rid of this, and I saved it. Because I wasn't ready. Because I bonded with this deck. We used to pull cards from this deck a lot. And in fact, I used to. Back when I was having my unhealthy relationship with tarot and I was just in a really bad place, this was like my hug deck. I used it as a hug deck. I would pull it for messages and it would make me feel better. I haven't used it in many years. I don't think it's for me. I'm just kind of attached to it still, and I guess not quite ready to let it go. I feel like it's probably going to happen this year, just from the factor of like surrender is my word of the years, and I feel like that's what part of what it's teaching me is letting go of the things that I'm holding on to purely because I'm attached to them, even though it doesn't feel like they're for me. Just even saying that statement for the record is very hard, because that statement triggers talking about letting things go that I'm attached to, that I don't feel ready to let go of, that a part of me thinks it's just not for me. And maybe that's why I'm holding on to some of these things. Because I have some very strong and very bad intrusive thoughts connected to that line of thinking. And so I think maybe a part of me is like, if I start letting go of these things that I was attached to, then one day I'll have to admit that I'm not attached to this anymore and let go of it, even though I don't want to let go of it, because it is for me. And it gets into some really squidgy places and territory in my brain. And as I'm filming this, I'm teetering on the edge of like, I'm pulling myself out of a depressive episode because it's January and it's winter. I feel like these two represent a deeper lesson with surrender. I feel like these two represent, I need to let these go and trust that being ready to let these go does not symbolize something else that is an intrusive thought, if that makes any kind of sense. Anyway, so those are my feelings about those ones. Deep breaths. I have these crystal grid oracle cards, which I got from a friend, which I definitely don't care to keep. They are cute and pretty, but I don't use like prescribed things. They are very cute, but they like tell you about doing a crystal grid, and I don't do a lot of crystal gridding, and I don't want to. I considered keeping these just for the images, and this doesn't feel like a just use it as an oracle. This feels like if I was going to use this, I would want to pull a card and have all the stones and be able to build the crystal grid. But I'm just not going to. That's just not going to happen in my life. I could just pull it as just an oracle, but the keyword, this isn't keywords. These are the crystals that are in the grid. So I'm not keeping this. I'm going to be getting rid of it. And it's just determining how and where to get rid of it, because shipping stuff costs a lot of money. I don't know if a local metaphysical store, which I love, would accept donations. I suppose I could call them and ask, which I'm thinking of doing for these, because this costs a lot of money, and frankly, I don't have a lot of money to be shipping things, especially when they're so little. So that's that, and it's going. And this is the last of my, I'm really unsure decks. And then we end off with some of my favorites. And this is the Celtic Tree Oracle by Sherilyn Hidalgo. This fucker. I don't know. This was one of the first decks I bought. And I don't even know why I bought it. I guess I just felt like I just felt called to it. Here's the thing that fucks with me about this deck. I don't trust it. It doesn't feel reliable, because I don't trust this one because in this book, my birthday makes me Hawthorn, based on the Celtic Tree Zodiac. And in the correct time period too, right? Like if I look birth tree table, Northern Hemisphere, I look for the part where it goes to includes March 30th. It's Hawthorn. The thing I've had is I have looked it up. I had this deck. I gave it to a friend. I felt called and I asked for it back because they weren't using it, and they gave it back and they were totally fine with that. But if I look up the Celtic Tree Zodiac, it gives me a totally different tree. If I look up the Celtic Tree Zodiac, in everywhere I've seen, except in work by Sherilyn Hidalgo, my tree is alder, not hawthorn. I think I'll start to think, oh, maybe I am finding something because a book pops up, but it's Sherilyn Hidalgo. And I don't know where she's from. I don't know if she's from Celtic places, if she's got Celtic heritage. I don't know. If you know something, please let me know in the comments down below, because this is driving me bananas because I can't figure it out. Because it says it's based on Celtic wisdom. And it says in here, designed in Australia, I guess. But if this is based in Celtic wisdom, how come it's only this one person source that I can find that says my birth tree is hawthorn and all the rest are alder? Is there a chance that Sherilyn Hidalgo has actual roots and such, and that they are aware of correct information, and that everyone else has been given incorrect information that's spread? Absolutely. Of course that's possible. I just don't know. So I have trouble trusting this. So I have trouble working with it, and I have tried. So if you have some sort of insider scoop, or if you've got any insight about this, please let me know in the comments down below, because it's a mystery and I don't know what to do with this, because I don't know how to solve the mystery. Anyways, and that's that. that is all the decks that were in my purgatory kind of spot here. And now we're just left with my decks that I keep out because I like to play with them. So first we have my Charmcast Tarot. I did do a first impressions walkthrough of this. The bag is giving me some difficulty. It's not going so well. So I think this outer bag is going to have to go. I keep this with the cloth I used in my video. I have not started using this in casting. I'm just folding the cloth. One sec. So this is my charm cast. I'm not going to dump them all out. There's a video. It's up above in the cards. I've been wearing my daily card, which I love. It's a practice I adore. I've used this for casting readings once, which was fun. I want to do it more. I've also used these for when I want to do magic. Because they're metal, because they'd be very easy to clean up if I spilled anything on them. When I was doing a spell, I placed these around the base of the candle, and I really loved that. So that's my charm cast. It is not going anywhere. Again, you couldn't pry it out of my cold dead hands if you wanted to. You have to get your own, because this one's mine. I love it. I wear it. I'm wearing my daily card now. Truly, I think this will turn out to be one of the best investments I've ever made into my tarot practice, because I think the ways I can end up using this is endless. So that's that one. And that I got on like the 29th of December. And this I got on the 31st. Which again, this is another spoiler. I have done a flip through of this. Well, actually, at the point I'm filming it, this is a spoiler. Because I did film a flip through first impressions, but I haven't published it yet. But I'm going to publish it before I get to part 3 of my deck collection. So it won't be a spoiler by the time this is out. So never mind. But this is my Dream Visions Tarot. I need to clean my thing. This is my Dream Visions Tarot. I love it. I am currently using this every night with my moon journal. I have created a new reading to go with this called the What the Fuck is Up with That spread, where anything in your life that you're scratching your head like and asking yourself, what the fuck is up with that? This deck and the reading I've created is designed specifically for those inquiries. I have the link for my readings down in the description box. But I adore this deck so much. I will link the flip through up above in the cards, because it will be live before this goes live. I want to use this all the time because it is so intuitive. I'm still learning like what's communicating with me on the other end when I use this. I feel like it's like higher self. I feel like it's highly mystical. I love using it with my moon journal, because at the time it's the 13th of January when I'm filming this. I love using it with my moon journal. I love using it for just intuitive pulls and intuitive readings. This lives on my desk. I don't think I'm going to end up getting a Peggy bag, because I literally use this multiple times a day. So I don't know. Also, that sits on my desk is my Heavenly Bodies astrology deck. I don't think anyone is surprised to hear me say that this is not ever going anywhere. I can't do this out of order because I don't want to have to reorganize this. But this deck is gorgeous. I have several journaling videos where I use this, which you can check out in the cards. I'll put a couple of them depending on how many cards I have left. It's got the nodes of the moon, it's got the planets, it's got the houses, it's got the signs, it's got all of these things. I use this in astrological focused readings. So I use this in my moon return reading. I use this for my sun return reading. I use this for Mercury returns. I use it largely for returns, and I'm using it with my clients for my 2022 year ahead spread monthly sessions. So there's that one. And all of these decks that you're seeing now are decks that I don't care to put in bags, because I use them so much. And I like the box. These boxes are gorgeous. Like, look at the colors. I am getting though a cloth. I'm getting a cloth. This is the Starseeker Tarot. I'm getting a cloth from Peggy that screams the heavenly bodies. And I'm getting a cloth that I will, when I use these decks, I will use that cloth. And I'm probably going to end up also getting the Nikki Ferrata at the Van Mystics tarot cloth specifically for this. Can't lie, I will probably also get, it wouldn't surprise me if I get the travel version of this. I want the travel version. I don't have it yet because I don't have the money for it, and I already have this version. So, but I gotta say, I am tempted to get the travel version. I love this deck enough that I think I would use both. Maybe the travel version would become my personal copy, and I would use this copy specifically for other people. I use this for all sorts of readings. I use it for any reading with my Heavenly Bodies deck. I also just use it in random readings with clients. This is a deck I can throw down and just read. And I love it. So that's the Starseeker Tarot. We are almost done. Another late addition to my decks last year was the Seed and Sickle Oracle. I adore this box. So I don't think there is a fabric that reminds me of this box a bit, but I don't think I want to put it in a bag because the box is so fucking pretty. As I film this, I am currently using this deck for my monthly medicines prompts, and it is powerful. It gives really good readings. It is spot on. I'm using it with my Dream Visions tarot, actually. And it may seem slightly odd, but I actually bought this deck specifically to use with my Dream Visions because of the 2 guidebook thing. And the Dream Visions makes me think very sun, very moon balance thing, which was the basis of that spread I built with it. The what the fuck is up with that spread? One side's the sun side, one side's the moon side. You're looking at the surface of the issue with the sun and the moon and what's underneath with the moon. And this deck with it, it's amazing how they lined up. So I heavily love. Is that a fucking crow on? Okay. Okay, hold on. Just give me a second. I'll explain in a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, that says it's a raven, but ravens and crows look so similar. Here's the thing. I am connected to crows, and I guess probably a bit ravens too, because they're very similar. This feels like a message because I can't believe I didn't connect this dot. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Oh, wait, no, that's different. Never mind. I am connected to crows through ancestry. And my grandfather, although technically he was my step-grandfather, my grandfather was from Wales. And I have Celtic ancestry. So I feel very connected to crows and I guess sort of by proxy ravens. Alder is my tree. And this has a black bird that could easily be a crow or a raven on it. So this feels like a message for me, given that this is my birth tree according to everything else except this. This feels like a message for me that I don't need to solve the mystery of this. This just isn't for me. So I'm going to get rid of this. This deck I am so very in love with. It is a stunning, stunning, stunning deck. And it's really fun to shuffle. Like, it shuffles well. Like, it's just beautiful. The Dusk book is proving to be my favorite. But that's the Seed and Sickle Oracle. It's not going anywhere. I might get... There's this one specific fabric that Peggy has in her shop that makes me think of that I always think of when I see this deck. But it doesn't match the backs, and I don't want to... I love this box. Like, I love this box. I don't want to take it out of this box. And the fact that it does this, one to wither, one to grow, one for the she, and one for the crow. And that's the other thing. It says crow right on it, right there. And in fact, I want to get I'm hoping to maybe use this with my Tarot of the She, and then my Mystic or my Wisdom of the Crow Tarot once that Kickstarter comes out. Anyways, I've got lots of things I'm exploring with this. It's not going anywhere. I really love it. Which brings us to my last deck that I had in the year 2021. I do have another deck, which I bought, and I guess it was my first deck I received this year. But it wasn't a part of my collection in 2021, so it doesn't go in this video. This is the This Might Hurt Tarot. I actually have two decks. New decks already. They're coming. This is never leaving me. I know this deck. It is a favorite of mine. It lives on my desk. I can just pull cards and read it. No problem. The guidebook is great. I love the art. This deck is just phenomenal. And I use it however the fuck I want. Because it's an easy reader, it doesn't have a niche that it sits in. It's not like, this is my This Might Hurt Tarot and I use it for this. It's, no, this is my This Might Hurt Tarot and I use it whenever I want to, for whatever I want to. If I'm having a rough day and I just want some messages, I might pull from this. I've used it for my daily pulls and it's been great. I'm going to use it for a monthly medicine, I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure that will be great. It is just a stellar deck. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I, in fact, enabled a friend. My friend ended up buying this deck because I showed it to them and they were like, oh my gosh, yes, and they love it. Love this deck. Highly recommend. Oh wait, there's one more. Oh my god, I almost forgot this. I almost forgot this because it's sitting in a different spot. This is my favorite type of Peggy bag, and this is my Cosmo Visions. Technically, they say this is an oracle, but I don't give a fuck. I think it's a tarot deck. The whole structure is there, and it functions like a tarot, so I call it a tarot deck. It is absolutely gorgeous. And this deck, once I saw it, I knew I had to have it. and I adore it. It's in one of these bags. These bags are the bags I want to buy for decks that feel very sacred. And this one, that's how this one feels to me. So, and I just recently discovered that I'm using this deck for connecting with my ancestors. I don't want to go into more detail than that because at the time I'm filming this, it is very new. And I really love it, but but it's for me. Like, this deck is for me. I'm still learning what ways in which I use it to work with my ancestors, but it doesn't matter because it's just mine. I can't really explain it yet, and maybe I'll never be able to. And come on with the bag match. Like, come on. I don't know if I'll ever be able to explain it because I don't really understand it myself, but I saw it and I had to have it. And it has not disappointed me. And even though I haven't used it much, I'm thrilled to say that I think I've now figured out the way to use it, and I think I'll start using it more. Which is why I didn't realize where it was, because I like moved where I was keeping it. I didn't want to put it back in my drawer. I wanted to keep it out and have more physical access to it. So yeah, I had put it on my desk because I didn't want to put it in my drawer, but I didn't put it in the same spot as my other decks on my desk. I'm actually, as I film this, I'm going through this whole shift of, oh my God. I'm going through this whole shift where I'm thinking of just kind of revamping my whole space. Not in furniture wise, but in like organization and stuff. Anyways, that is the last deck in my collection that I got in 2021, or that I had for 2021. I didn't get all of these in 2021. I got a lot of them. And that ends my series for this year of the decks in my collection. I suspect there'll probably be more pruning. There's already definitely for sure more things coming in. I know of at least Wisdom of the Crow, the Gentle Tarot, the Eternal Tarot, which is technically 2 decks. And then there's stuff. I have plans on stuff. So that is it for this video. Oh gosh, I hope you guys enjoyed this because I've been filming for hours trying to get all this. So please let me know in the comments down below if you liked it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. In the description box below, you will see the link for my Patreon where you can join us for some more content and a discount on all my readings. You will see a link for said readings, and you will see a link for my Facebook page where you can follow to get all the updates. And that is where I'm going to leave you. I hope you're having an awesome time in your life at whatever time of the year you're seeing this, and wishing you lots of love. Bye!